Beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. George Bernard Shaw. Ignorance may slow a person's steps, but false knowledge can lead us astray without us even realizing it. When we don't know something, we still have the chance to learn. But when we believe we know while what we believe is wrong, we easily fall into complacency, closing the door to truth. False knowledge is like a broken compass. It still points a direction, but leads us farther from our destination. The danger lies in the fact that those who hold misguided beliefs often find it very hard to recognize their own mistakes. They act with certainty, even determination, and that very certainty makes the consequences more severe. A person who doesn't know can pause to learn, while someone who knows wrongly continues to spread that error to others, unwittingly creating a vicious cycle of distorted perception. In the modern world, where information spreads faster than ever, this reminder becomes all the more profound. Not everything heard repeatedly is true, and not everything familiar is correct. Alertness, critical thinking, and humility toward knowledge are the anchors that keep us from being swept away in a chaotic sea of information. Saying, "I don't know yet," is sometimes the highest expression of wisdom. This is not meant to make people fear knowledge, but to encourage us to cherish truth, dare to doubt ourselves, and never stop learning. Only when we recognize our own limitations can we move closer to true understanding, and from there live more awake, humble, and profound lives in a world full of change. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. Steve Jobs. A powerful source of energy, like a heartfelt message for those lost at life's crossroads. It's not just about work. It speaks to the deeper meaning of living fully with passion and inner values. For a great career isn't built on reluctance or compromise, but on love strong enough to make a person persevere, learn, and overcome every challenge. Loving what you do doesn't mean the path will always be smooth. On the contrary, that love helps us stand firm when facing failure, exhaustion, and doubt. When we truly love what we pursue, each difficulty is no longer a burden, but part of the journey of growth. Passion keeps us endlessly curious, constantly improving ourselves, and unwilling to live a superficial, meaningless life. It doesn't push for instant success, but encourages patience in the search for oneself. Some people must travel many paths, try different choices, before finding what truly makes their heart sing, and that's perfectly fine. Every experience, right or wrong, helps clarify the path that best suits them. When we dare to seek, dare to change, and dare to pursue what we love, we don't just build a career, we create a meaningful life. It is in that unending journey that we find joy, freedom, and a sense of fulfillment nothing else can replace. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. A small light kindled in the moment someone hesitates at the threshold of their dream. It's not loud or dogmatic, yet it carries deep resonance because it touches the timeless human fear. Fear of not being good enough, fear of failure, fear of judgment. Greatness isn't a gift bestowed at the starting line. It's the result of those first trembling steps of falling, rising, and continuing onward. In life, many dreams are abandoned, not because they're too distant, but because people wait for a perfect moment when they're skilled enough, confident enough, ready enough. But that moment rarely comes on its own. Like a seed that stays forever in the soil will never become a tree if it doesn't dare to crack its shell. People cannot grow if they don't dare to begin imperfectly. Starting, even modestly, is the moment we choose to believe in our potential, however faint it may seem. It doesn't demand perfection, but encourages action. It doesn't paint the road ahead in rosy colors, yet it gives us the courage to walk it. When we begin, small steps accumulate into experience. Each failure sharpens resilience, and that very process creates true greatness. For what matters most isn't a brilliant starting point, but the persistent journey of rising higher. I've learned that if you love life, life will love you back. Arthur Rubinstein. This isn't a rosy promise that life will always be smooth, but a gentle reminder of the two-way relationship between a person and the world around them. When we open our hearts to embrace life with appreciation, patience, and gratitude, life gradually responds with simple yet warm gifts, sometimes just a peaceful morning, a chance smile, or a small opportunity that arrives right when we need it. Loving life doesn't mean denying pain or hardship. It means learning to see meaning even on the darkest days. It's choosing to rise after a fall, believing every challenge carries a lesson, and that every passing day is worth living fully. When people learn to love life, their gaze softens, their soul opens wider, and the world around them seems a little less harsh. In the end, life is like a mirror, reflecting our inner feelings. If we give resentment, we receive exhaustion. But if we give love, patience, and hope, we feel a gentle yet profound response. In that harmony, people find the motivation to keep going, to believe that even if life isn't perfect, it's still worth loving with all our heart. A day of worry is more exhausting than a week of work. John Lubbock. An exaggeration, yet the more you reflect, the more it rings true. Physical fatigue can be soothed by sleep or rest, but mental exhaustion quietly wears a person down from within. When anxious, the mind spins endlessly with unanswered questions and exaggerated scenarios that haven't even happened yet. That tension drains us. Even when the body has done almost nothing, a day of worry can pass in silence, but inside, it's an unending storm. We worry about the future, things yet to come, past mistakes, and vague possibilities that may never exist. Those thoughts cling like persistent shadows, making every moment feel heavy. Meanwhile, a hard week of work brings a clearer feeling, tired from effort, from action, from creating value. That kind of tiredness is acceptable, even something to be proud of. Sometimes what exhausts people most isn't a busy life, but a mind that doesn't know how to rest. When we learn to let go of some anxiety, accept what's beyond control, and focus on the present, our hearts feel much lighter. After all, living isn't just getting through each day, it's knowing how to keep the soul at peace amid inevitable busyness. Self-discipline is doing what you know is right and important. Though difficult, it is the road to pride, self-esteem, and personal satisfaction. Margaret Thatcher. It doesn't celebrate the brightest moments of success, but turns our gaze to the quietest part of the journey, self-mastery. Because the hardest thing isn't dreaming, it's persisting day after day, even when no one sees, no one praises, and you yourself feel weary. Self-discipline isn't harsh self-punishment. It's a form of self-respect. It's choosing the right thing over the easy one, effort over procrastination, responsibility over excuses. Every small decision, waking a little earlier, finishing a task fully, or resisting short-term temptations, is a quiet brick, building a solid foundation for personal value. At first, those actions may bring fatigue or even loneliness, but over time, they create an enduring inner strength no one can take away. The miracle of discipline is that it offers no instant reward, but delivers a deep sense of pride when we look back at ourselves. It's the quiet joy of knowing we didn't give up, stayed true to our goals and principles. From that consistency, self-esteem is nurtured and satisfaction arises, naturally quiet, unshowy, but lasting and profound. Discipline isn't confinement. It's the path to true freedom. For when people master their actions and choices, they're no longer swept along by fleeting emotions or external circumstances. And in that mastery, we find value, meaning, and the quiet pride of a purposeful life. The essence of strategy is choosing what not to do. Michael Porter. Strategic thinking in every area of life. Many people mistake strategy for doing a lot, seizing every opportunity, or chasing everything that looks appealing. Yet the true value of strategy lies not in the quantity of actions, but in the clarity to refuse what's unnecessary, no matter how tempting it seems. In a world full of choices, each person's resources, time, energy, focus, are always limited. If we try to do everything, in the end, we accomplish nothing fully. Strategy, therefore, is like the art of elimination, removing tasks that don't serve long-term goals, short-term temptations that scatter focus, and even safe paths no longer aligned with our direction. It's not refusal out of fear, but conscious choice based on clear understanding of what truly matters. The difficulty of strategy is that saying no is often harder than saying yes. Turning down an opportunity can feel like losing something, but in reality, we're protecting precious resources to invest in what lasts longer. Successful people aren't those who do more than others, but those who stay committed to core priorities, despite surrounding noise. In the end, understanding the essence of strategy is understanding the value of focus. When we're clear enough to know what not to do, the path ahead suddenly becomes clearer and lighter. And in that selective process, we build lasting strength, a steady direction, and a purposeful life, instead of being swept away by needless choices. There is no hopeless situation, only people who despair because of the situation. It doesn't deny the harshness of reality or sugarcoat pain, but emphasizes something deeper. True strength lies in how a person perceives and faces adversity, not in the adversity itself. In life, everyone at times finds themselves in a dark corner, failure, loss, deadlock, or feeling left behind. Those situations can weigh heavily like endless rain, making escape seem impossible. But in those moments, attitude becomes the thin line between falling and rising. Some see the situation as a wall blocking the way. Others see it as a challenge to forge themselves. The difference lies not in the situation, but in the heart of the person facing it. Despair doesn't come from the situation, but from losing faith in the ability to overcome it. When people believe they're powerless, every door seems closed. Conversely, as long as a spark of hope remains, a small belief that I can still go on, even the roughest path can open a way forward. History and daily life prove that many rise from the depths, not because they're luckier, but because they refuse to surrender. It doesn't deny pain, but awakens the hidden spiritual strength within each person. It reminds us that circumstances may force us to our knees, but only if we choose to give up do they truly win. When we hold on to faith, determination, and will to live, we can turn adversity into motivation, challenges into springboards, and walk out of darkness with our own strength. The most courageous act is still to think for yourself, aloud. Be strong. Coco Chanel. This doesn't promote selfishness or indifference to others, but highlights the importance of listening to oneself. In a world where it's too easy to be swept along by others' expectations, judgments, and desires, when we don't think for ourselves, we easily live by others' patterns, lose direction, and gradually forget what we truly need. Thinking for oneself is first and foremost an act of courage. It's daring to face our true feelings, admitting limits, hidden desires, and unhealed wounds. It's not always easy, because sometimes thinking for oneself means saying no, leaving relationships that no longer fit or walking a path few support. But in those choices, we learn to respect our own worth. Be strong doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent, but learning to stand firm against life's storms. It's the ability to comfort ourselves when things go wrong, the resilience to rise after falling without losing faith in ourselves. When a person is strong enough to protect their emotional boundaries, they become calmer in the face of judgment and clear-headed enough to choose what's best for them. Thinking for oneself doesn't distance us from the world. On the contrary, it helps us live more authentically and healthily in relationships. When someone knows how to love and respect themselves, they can offer genuine care to others. That is the foundation of a balanced, steady, and meaningful life. There are no limits. There are plateaus, but they are not places to settle. They are places we must surpass. Bruce Lee. It shatters the common idea that success is a final destination, a milestone to stop at and feel satisfied. Instead, this quote opens a broader view. The human path of growth is a journey without end, only higher levels waiting to be conquered. In life, whenever we achieve something, we tend to feel secure, seeing it as the ultimate peak of our ability. But if we linger too long, that peak quickly becomes an invisible limit, trapping progress and dimming initial aspiration. In truth, each success should only be a temporary milestone, a place to pause, reflect on the road traveled, learn from what's been gained, then continue onward with wider vision and stronger will. Human potential has no fixed boundary. The limits we feel mostly come not from circumstances, but from fear of failure, complacency, or the false belief that we're good enough. When we dare to cross those mental boundaries, the world suddenly opens to new possibilities we never dared imagine before. Each time we surpass a peak, we grow stronger and understand ourselves more deeply. Greatness lies not in conquering how many peaks, but in the spirit of continually moving forward. Life isn't a journey to find a place to stop. It's a journey of endlessly expanding our limits. When we keep the desire to advance, daring to surpass yesterday's peaks, we live in a state of growth, freedom, and deep meaning.